Here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this quick message tonight. I'm going to teach very simply on do you have um, a monetization mindset? Do you have a mindset that really supports you in being profitable or setting up profitability in your business? And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant, and I got started in my company over 20 years ago. I made a decision that I wanted to change my life, and I wanted to go to work, as I call it. I wanted to go to work as myself. I had a background as a corporate trainer. I had these skills and talents that I wanted to use in a different way. I wanted to be fully expressed. I felt like in the workplace, I could only be a part of who I really was or use talents like this much of my talent and skill. And I knew that there was more for me. And maybe you feel exactly the same way, and you're going to love this live tonight. Now, I've been doing a series on monetization. And tonight I'm going to talk about monetization mindset. And the goal is to really get you to think a little bit more deeply about maybe how you're thinking about monetizing, and it'll help you to see why maybe there's some blocks that are going on, or why you're charging what you're charging, why you struggle with increasing your prices, etc. So if you're trying to figure out those things, you need to stay right here. Before I get started, let me make sure that all my shares are working. And I know that you guys are going to love this. If you're watching the replay, be sure to share and like and to play full out, because I love that. 1 second. Let me make sure I share so everybody can see. Okay. Almost there. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right. So today we're going to talk simply about a monetization mindset. And I wanted to do this live specifically because of the things that I have heard over the years when women are trying to hit their goals. And a lot of times, what gets in the way isn't really your talent or your skill. Most often, it's never that. It's usually that there's a belief system that you have that's working around what your value is. So let's talk about the different ways that you may see or have impacted your money mindset, and you don't even realize like what the impact is. Okay, so number one, the first thing that you will note is maybe you believe in scarcity in a way that isn't healthy, right? So you may be thinking that all the other folks in business doing what you're doing, that the market is cornered, that the market is saturated, that there's no room for you. And so you feel that everything is already taken. Does that make sense? So you're feeling like there's a scarce amount of opportunity for you, and therefore it's impacted your ability to market or to have belief in your product or belief in yourself, because you're feeling like you are not enough. And I'm telling you that if you've ever said this, I hear it all the time. If you've ever said this, this is impacting your ability to monetize. So imagine having the best product in the world, but believing in your mind that no one's going to buy the things that you have because they're already customers of someone else. All right. And you got to stop that. Like literally, I get my clients to read significantly so that they can start to work on themselves and grow their beliefs and their habits, and their actions follow. Because when you believe that the market is saturated, it impacts your ability to believe that what you have, that other folks want. And you might not be thinking of it that way or how it's impacting you, but I would ask you the following question. If you're already in business, how many calls have you made this week? How many people did you reach out to? And likely your action's going to follow your beliefs. So if you're not really doing the work on that side, it's probably because of the beliefs that you already have about that there's no room for you. And there's tons of room for you. I don't care how many people are doing whatever it is that you were doing or thinking about doing it. The fact of the matter is no one's going to do it like you. No one comes with the same background, skill, authenticity. They don't come exactly that way. And there's always room. There's always room for you. And being able to shift those beliefs will really be able to shift the profitability in your business. It will shift the way that you feel energetically when you're thinking about getting started in a business. Who wants to sell anything when you think that there's no potential for your ideal customer to come forward? So that's one of the ways that your mindset really impacts your monetization. When you believe that there is not room for you, when you believe that all the customers are already taken, when you believe that everyone's already doing the thing that you're doing and they're doing it the way you would do it, because it's just not true. All right. The second way that I've seen that mindset impacts monetization is for those of you who have invested before. I'm talking to you, okay? So for those of you who have been investors before, but maybe you haven't been an investor, but you haven't been an implementer, okay? Hang in there with me. It's going to be a little tough. If you're an investor and you don't implement, the fact of the matter is you likely have a belief that investment does not work. Anybody? Hello? Okay, are you listening? The fact of the matter is, when you invest and you don't do the work while you're investing, it means that you don't see the results of the effort. When I think about the number of times that I've talked to individuals or coached individuals who have gone through coaching programs, who have even coached with me, who just sat on their thumbs for, I don't know, set period of time. And they were just expecting, because they made a purchase in something, that it was going to create a result. Doesn't work that way. You actually have to do the work. You have to be an implementer. You've got to be a partner in the success that you want. And you've got to be able to take 100% responsibility for the implementation of whatever it is that you're learning. Just because you make purchases doesn't guarantee that you're going to get results. People that get results are the people who actually do the work. And so if you had this mindset that you, by osmosis, association, being around people who are closing big deals or doing great things, that somehow that's going to impact you, it will grow you. So I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit, because association does matter to monetization. But if you're not actually doing the work, you don't have the habits of mind, and when you're getting up each and every day to make your business a top priority, to do the work, you're not going to be able to monetize in your business. And it's just flat true. Or you won't be able to monetize consistently in your business. There are people who, often find themselves in that circle, a cycle of, they can't find clients. They believe that, like I had just mentioned, all the clients are taken. They feel like people who are high-level investors don't want to work with them. And you have to understand that, like, all of those beliefs impact the people that you decide to market to. It also impacts, if you're not doing the work, then what you have might not be as attractive to someone that is an investor. So sometimes it's all about you looking at yourself, taking 100% responsibility and saying, how can I up level who I am so that I can become more attractive to the people that I want to work with? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I hope so, because I'm really just breaking this down in the most simplistic and compassionate way I possibly can. The third thing that you need to realize as it relates to how your monetization is impacted by your mindset, it is sometimes we don't want to rise. Okay. So, and that may be because of like fear, doubt, and insecurity. So let me explain. So imagine if you've been selling something for $500, and that's been your big ticket product, right? Like $500 a client. And now you have an opportunity to sell what you do for, let's say, $5,000. Well, first of all, in order for you to step into a $5,000 product and you've been selling something for $500, you've got to work on your belief system, because really, unless you understand why you're charging the price that you're charging, it's very difficult for you to be able to walk a client through that, because you yourself don't believe it. So your mindset totally impacts your ability to share yourself with others. And when we're sharing our prices, that's like one of the most vulnerable parts, right? So if you notice that you are really struggling around saying higher ticket prices, and you find yourself, even though you know what your price really should be, but when you're in conversation with your ideal clients, you keep going back to those lower prices, I want you to understand that that is impacting your ability to monetize. And I see this all the time. Like, a client will have a price, they know exactly why they should be charging that price, and yet whenever it gets they're having a sales conversation so they don't have to handle those objections, the first thing that they want to do is discount the price. The first thing that they want to do is go back to the safe price of $500 that they know is not what they should be charging. And if you've ever done that, I'm talking directly to you. The fourth thing that literally impacts individuals as it relates to their mindset and how mindset is a huge part of monetization is just stinking thinking. Okay, and we'll just call it that. It's sort of being a negative person. Like if you were in a room, you could, if you were in a room, like you could dim every light that was in there, right? Does that make sense, right? Because of what you say, what you believe, what you communicate with your body and all of those things. So people are attracted to people who are confident, people who are positive, people who can motivate them. And so imagine that you are looking to sell what it is that you have, but you don't believe in yourself enough to share yourself at the highest vibration. So whenever you're meeting folks, or you could have a potential opportunity to have someone that maybe want to do a partnership with you or work with you, when you enter that space, you are so much into doubt and insecurity that you bring those things along, and they're not your friend. One of the things that I found is so important is that you are the first sale. First, like literally, you have to be sold on you, and ask yourself, what do you need to do? Right? What do you need to read? Who do you need to become in order for you to step into the highest version of yourself, to be able to attract all the things that you deserve and that you've worked for? You deserve it, right? Like you've worked for these things and you've got to believe it. But if you don't believe it, then clients are never going to buy uncertainty. And if you're uncertain, they will be also. And some people don't notice why they can't close clients or what's going on or why their money is funny over and over again. It's often because of their own belief systems. And I'll also say number 5, which is a tough one sometimes for us to see, is how your mindset is impacting your money. It's because you treat your business like a hobby. Right. So when it's like a feel good business, like when you feel like doing business, you do business. And when you don't feel like doing business, you don't do business. So there's not this consistency, like the respect in the business doesn't exist. And so the reason that your business is on some days and off other days, it's the same thing that's impacting your ability to monetize. It's the reason why your sales don't come in, consistently and predictably, is because you're not consistent and predictable. And I know that I called someone out, but I just want you to hear some of these things because they're usually so close that we don't realize that, like, I am doing these things, right? So that hopefully as a result of hearing this will get you to change. I'm just shaking your shoulders a little bit so you can understand the things you might be doing that are impacting your monetization. Another thing that I've seen over the years that impacts monetization in huge ways is not standing in your value. And what does that mean? That means that you may have every single thing that the client wants, every single thing that somebody wants, but you are afraid to stand in your value and charge what you're worth. And because of it, right, like the client is trying to figure out what's wrong with what you've got. I'll give an example. And I do this often. Imagine that, like, your favorite car. So let's say some sports cars, a BMW or something like that, fully loaded, the latest version. And you offered that you were offered that BMW for $1,000. So it's brand new, it's fully loaded, right? And so you would say, you could get this BMW for $1,000. It's got heated seats, right? It's got a great navigation system, right? It's got the great tablet in the middle doing all kinds of really terrific things. It's got little massagers in the seat. It does everything. You would ask yourself, what's wrong with it? And why someone's selling you this amazing BMW for $1,000. Now, if you've got that problem, meaning you're not standing in your value and charging what you're worth, it means that you have something that's really amazing too. The background, the gift, the talent, the experience. And there are tons of people like, I love her, right? I would love to work with her. But then when they look at your prices, something's not aligned. Something's not compatible. And so it makes them afraid, right? It makes them say, what is wrong with this. And that's why it's so important to understand how to charge what you're worth, how to stand in your value, so that the client that you're meant to work with is the client that says, I want to work with you. There'll be trust right away because they can see that there's some congruency there. Is this making sense? Are you getting value? Now, today, what I wanted to talk about is the monetization as a mindset. And a lot of times people want to monetize, they want to make money, they want to have a profitable business, but they don't realize the small things that get in the way of being able to realize the level of profitability in their business, right? So it's usually a mindset. Another thing that I've seen over the years that totally impacts your ability to monetize is not wanting to hang out with people your own ambition level and above. And I think this is really important, to be in a community with folks that are your level and above, and they're doing things that you're learning from. I mentioned this earlier, a little bit earlier. The fact of the matter is, just by being around folks who are doing things that you don't yet have the courage to do, they'll grow your esteem by 30% just by association. And one of the things that a lot of folks really focus on is being comfortable, instead of understanding that you need to be in rooms that are uncomfortable. You need to be around a peer group that make you uncomfortable. They're doing the things that you can do, but maybe you're afraid to do. But when you watch them, your belief will grow. You'll live vicariously through them initially, but they'll start to change you. You'll learn what they're saying and what they're doing. And as a result of that, you will eventually do those things too. Now, on the other side of that, if you don't have that kind of community and you decide to hang out with other folks and they're your accountability partners and they're doing nothing also, that's what you'll get. Is this making sense? You guys will be a group of individuals who aren't growing one another. And it's so important that you associate with people your own ambition level and above, because it will impact your ability to monetize, and it will impact your ability to your mindset, how you think about what is possible. When you see people doing the things that you're not doing, I'm telling you, it's life changing. So that's one of the things that need to change. And I'm also going to share that one of the other things that impact you as it relates to mindset and monetization is investing. Now, there are people who believe that when they're making investments in themselves, significant investments, that they are taking something away. They're taking something away from themselves or taking something away from their families. You're not. I will tell you that one of the things that's really important, and I can tell you, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in myself over the years. And one of the things that I have learned is whatever I invest in myself, my family, they're the benefactors of my success. It's true. Okay. And the same is true for you. And if you look at investment in any other way, I promise you that that is impacting your ability to monetize at the highest level. And, knowing that when you're making investments, you're making an investment in yourself to get a return, right? Like I was thinking, like, if you don't know how to take what you're doing and you don't know how to put it in a structure that you can monetize for high ticket for $2,500 or more, right? Like you have to make an investment to learn how to do that. That's not going to just come to you. You could read all the books in the world, but wouldn't it be easier and faster to have a mindset that you would be investment minded to learn those things so that you could get a return faster and quicker? Now, remember, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be a doer, you have to be an implementer. And if you're those things, then that's really great, right? But if you're not an investor, it's the long road. I just don't know people who create a lot of success who don't invest in themselves, don't spend a significant amount of time, money, and effort in order for them to transform their life, right? So that is one of the things that also really will impact you is your money mindset, is your ability to invest. And I would also say to invest quickly. So let me break this down. And that means that when you're making an investment, if it takes you like 10 months, like I have people who sometimes on their application to when they apply to work with me, they'll say they're ready to move forward and they're ready to move forward in 90 days. 90 days? Are we serious? So we're ready to change our life, but we're not ready to change our life today. You're ready to change your life in 90 days. Come on. All right. So it's like getting real with yourself, being honest with yourself about readiness and deciding I am ready today and doing whatever it takes in order for you to move forward and not make it an investment, like something that you put off. Like people who are leaders, people who are own companies, CEOs, we all are high level investors, and we invest quickly because what we understand is that if I have the solution today, then I have the ability today to change my life. Now, me waiting 90 days means that I've got to live without the solution that can really change my life, and that's a huge cost to me. So also really think about that as it relates to your money mindset. I've shared so many things today, maybe 8 or 9 tips for you around your money mindset. And I hope that as a result of what you've heard tonight, that it gets you to think a little bit differently about, having your mind, your monetization mindset, really thinking about, like, what am I doing? Am I doing any of these things? What do I need to do to change where I am to get to where I want to be? I'm Amir Redrick, business and life consultant, for those of you who have just come on. And what I talk today about is a mindset for monetization and what might be impacting your ability to be able to monetize the way that you want. There are some people, I have some clients that they drip in money, right? Like their ability to be able to attract their ideal clients and to be able to close, it happens all the time. And then I have other clients who the faucet hasn't come on yet because they're still working on their own belief systems, and those belief systems impact their ability to act quickly or to stand in their value or to own what's really great about them. And the clients feel all of those things. So understand that if you haven't seen all of this live, it's worth going through and asking yourself, like, do I have any of these things? And if you have any of those things, they need to be addressed. I would absolutely love to support you if you are interested in making a shift and investing in yourself to learn how to package what you do at the highest level, to be able to put together your premium offer based on your expertise, your education, and your experience. If you are looking for support around pricing and fully valuing what you do and standing in your value, and you want to know how to do that, if you want to know how to market to attract the right audience the first time so that they come to you over and over again and competition becomes irrelevant because you're so amazing at what you do, your clients come to you because they want the solutions you provide. And if you also need support with learning how to close and sell, that's what I do. And I would recommend one really terrific resource for you. I'll post it here. It's called The Giant Experience, and it's at thegiantexperience.com. It is a pretty phenomenal, if I say so myself, and I am saying so, a phenomenal masterclass. And it's a true masterclass. It's not one of the ones that, people say it's a masterclass, it's free masterclass. It's not that. It's run for 4 years, and we have hundreds of results of women who had no idea what their product was, how to package it, how to price it, how to market it, and also how to sell what they do. And over the course of accessing the training that was online, in addition to the live coaching days that are intensive with me, they've been able to, in just a weekend, the lights come on, right? It's an online training. It is so phenomenal. I love putting my name behind it because, like I said, we have hundreds of results. You don't have to take my word for it. Just check it out and look at the testimonials for yourself, and just you'll see for yourself that whether or not it's for you and whether or not you're looking for a real change, a real solution, full solution for you. I hope as a result of you being here today that there's something that I said that shook your shoulders, right, a little bit. It got you to think differently about, maybe how you're showing up and how that might be impacting your ability to monetize. Maybe the way that you're thinking or your belief systems, how that's impacting your ability to attract the very thing that you want that's available to you. I do believe this, that there is a layer of money around you that you don't see. And when we start to shift our beliefs, we start to see, oh, it's right there. It's sort of like someone telling you about a red car, and all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you see that kind of car in that color, right? The mindset is everything if you want to grow a great and profitable business. And I want you to know that you deserve all great things. You deserve all great things. You really do. And sometimes we don't create the success we want until we are congruent with the thing that we really want, right? So if you're shooting and it's beneath where you should be, it's the reason why you don't have any success. And that's why it's important to make investments in yourself so that you can up level and be exactly where you need to be so that you're attracting the right client that you want to work with the first time. Are there any questions or comments before I sign off? I'll give you guys a second for that. I want to thank you for being here tonight. It was a pleasure. I loved it. And I look forward to seeing those of you who will watch a replay, your comments here, and let me know how this worked for you. What thing did you get? What thing did you realize that you had that I mentioned earlier in this live as it relates to your mindset and how it might be impacting your monetization? I look forward to hearing that. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great and an amazing night.